My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Thursday, November 28, 2024, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen, that's a Dutch word for crafty adventures, with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, welcome today. I had quite a special week because last weekend there was the K2P2 Festival, a knitting and crochet festival I organized together with my brother. And that was really intense, in a good way, I think, at the end. It was very exciting. I will tell you a little bit more about that later in this episode. But I'm also very happy that I can just start with talking about knitting, because that's in my comfort zone. I spent a lot of time out of my comfort zone last weeks. And I really enjoy being back in my happy and safe space again. So let's start with the knitting. I didn't do any knitting last week. It was so busy the days before the festival. Also I was very excited, so excited, not always in a good way, that I didn't feel the rest to knit. I just couldn't. They always say knitting keeps you calm, but it didn't. There were so many nerves, and so my stress level was so high. It worked better for me to walk and with the dog outside, and also doing my laundry, folding the laundry. That was way better. I just couldn't sit and knit, but that's okay because I can do it now anyway. Let me start with what I'm wearing, because that was actually my outfit for the K2P2 Festival. I organized the K2P2 make-along a few months ago, or since September, a few weeks ago. And I decided to make a special cardigan for that festival. I didn't wear it at all. Last week that was quite confusing. I was wearing that sweater, my Ariana sweater, and I suddenly felt I want to wear that to the festival. And I thought, no, you can't. You made a special cardigan for that day. But I always pick my clothes intuitive, I guess. And it doesn't really make sense. Sometimes I'm wearing an outfit in which I feel perfectly fine one day, and the next day I feel terrible in it. I don't know. It has nothing to do with the look. It's just the energy, I guess. And I know I'm not the only one with this experience, but I know it's very important to pick the clothes you need, especially when you are doing exciting things. Then when you can wrap yourself around in comforting woolly layers in which you feel the best at that moment, that's really giving you some extra power. So, but my cardigan how do you say it? My cardigan was at the festival because my daughter, our middle child, my 18-year-old daughter, she picked it out of my wardrobe and she said, if you are not gonna wear it, can I? And it looked wonderful on her and she was really happy with it. So it was still there. But I didn't tell you all the information about this cardigan, so I will start with that. Then I will do a little bit of K2P2 chat, and then I will show you a new cast on I did Monday, which was really nice for some recovering after a busy weekend. Okay, this is my Coffeebean Corran Cardigan. I used the pattern of Clow, from the Creabea podcast, the Corran Cardigan. That was actually a little bit of a template for me because I skipped all the lace pattern. I really love the lace pattern, and last year, 2023, I made a short-sleeved version and I really loved knitting it. It is also the same template Rebecca used for the Senna cardigan. I knitted that one too earlier this summer. I really love that too. But I wanted to put a little bit of Sarah sauce over it. I really love knitting. Okay, something went wrong. I forgot to share that I am filming this episode with my brand new vlog camera. I am the owner of one now. I never wanted to be a owner of a vlog camera. I never had that desire. I always filmed my episodes with my phone, and I love to do all the things with just one device, making photos, sharing them on Instagram, filming for YouTube, and also connecting and all the things. Just one device was enough for me. But my phone is getting a little bit old, and she was having a hard time with all the filming and stuff. The quality was not as good as I wanted to be. And when I saw one of my knitting friends a few months ago who showed a brand new vlog camera, I suddenly felt, I want that one too. Or not specific that one. I don't know anything about brands or whatever. That's my husband's work. I only told him that I want one, and he deep dived in it. I'm not very clumsy, technical, but I'm not very interested too. So I just wanted to work, and because of the busyness around the K2P2 Festival, I didn't have the time to deep dive in it. So yesterday I opened the box, I watched a little tutorial, and yeah, I didn't play with it at all. I just, maybe the light is not good. It was sunny, and now there's a big cloud, maybe some rain in a minute. So maybe things are not working very well, but I will work on that later. I just want to talk today. Normally I make my episodes on Monday, but this Monday I was really exhausted. I did try. I start over 10 times again, and then I realized that it was not a good day for filming an episode, because I just needed to be on the couch under a blanket and do some knitting and a new cast on. I did that, and I will tell you in a minute. But I was in the middle of my Coffeebean Corran Cardigan story. I think I was telling you that I used the pattern of Rebecca, of her Corran cardigan, as a template, and it's absolutely perfect to use as a template. And I really love to put a little bit of my own Sarah sauce in it, over it, without the need to discover the whole fit size and all the things. I just knew this cardigan suits me good, it's the perfect fit, and I only have to play with stitch pattern. And that was really fun to do. The Coffeebean stitch is a very old-fashioned stitch, I guess. I don't know exactly the history about it, but I know it was used as a sock stitch pattern for the tiny little knee-high socks for the little girls in the earlier century, previous century. And a few years ago I organized the Coffeebean knit along, and I knitted some Coffeebean socks, and I really enjoyed the stitch pattern. It's not hard, but it gives a very lovely result, and it's just very nice knitting. It's a bit of a variation of the K2P2 rib stitch, and that's one of my favorites, and just a rhythm, and it's a stitch pattern 4-needle repeat. So it's really easy. On my Ravelry page I have written down how I did knit it. I did knit some coffee beans in one of the designs of Kutovakika, Veronica Lindberg too. And it's just such a lovely detail. And because this was the K2P2 Festival I was knitting it for, I started with K2P2 at the bottom. As you can see, and as you might can see too, is that the coffee beans, the K2P2 transist, do you say it like that? Into a beautiful coffee bean. And it's really, the columns of the knit stitches are becoming coffee beans, and I really love this. This is a hard jumping knitting detail. Knitting details can be very, very hard jumping, and this is one. So I cast it on with a 3.25mm needle. I did knit with lead Lopi. And this is one of the things I really love about this camera, that it's focusing immediately. Very good. Let me see, do we have a color number? Yes, we have. It is dark brown lead Lopi. I really love lead Lopi. It is quite rustic. It is quite itchy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. And I must confess, my daughter did wear this cardigan at K2P2, and she's quite sensitive itch-wise. And the first hour she was wearing it, she said, ooh, ooh. She was wearing a long sleeve tank top under it. I am too. But after that, it was gone. So she is way more sensitive than I am, and she could handle it. So maybe it is worth to try. It's not a very expensive yarn, although here in the Netherlands it's an Icelandic yarn, and it's just so rustic. I love it. It's a worsted weight, so that makes this cardigan into quite a quick knit. And for me, it was the perfect balance between relaxing knitting without being bored, because you do something different every needle. Yeah, it is just, you have to pay attention without it being complicated. So it's not too hard, it's not a big challenge. Although when you are a beginner knitter, everything is a big challenge. So yeah, maybe the coffee bean stitch will be too. But when you have some knitting experience, this is just an easy peasy going stitch pattern with a lovely, lovely classic look. It looks a bit like tiny cables. I really love it. The Corran cardigan is a bottom-up knit. I prefer top-down, although I must confess, one of the pros of a bottom-up knit is that you are knitting just back and forth for quite a big time. And especially when you are trying new stitch patterns or new color combinations or whatever, you only have to pay attention on that part, because you are just knitting a straight piece of fabric. And the shaping will come later. When you are knitting top down, there's happening a lot. You have to knit the back part and the front parts, increasing and all the things. You have to pay attention. But this one is really easy peasy, just straight knitting. And when you are under the arms, or maybe a little bit earlier for the V-shaped neckline, then you have to pay attention to other things. And at that point, the stitch pattern is already so good in your hands that it's absolutely not a challenge anymore. So that was really satisfying. I must confess, now I did not regret that I didn't make it longer. It has the perfect length on my skirt. But when I was wearing it on my dresses, I did wear it open fronted, and I thought, okay, a long version would be really stunning too. So maybe one day. I am very curious how this stitch will look in a lighter fabric, in a lighter yarn, in a lighter color. Maybe a longer one. I have my Sunday cardigan, which I did knit very long, and I really love to wear that. Yeah, so maybe. I knitted the coffee bean stitches with needle 4mm, and that makes the fabric, it does remind me of my Felix cardigan, which is knitted on a looser gauge, but it is a very airy, lightweight cardigan because it's quite loose, and because the coffee bean stitch is a little bit of a rib stitch, it stretches in. When I was knitting it, I was a little bit worried about that, because I just picked the size I did knit for my Corran cardigan, and it looks a little bit narrow. So when my garment was finished, when my cardigan was finished, I blocked it quite aggressively, and with that I mean that I pinned it down on the blocking mats, especially the body part, and I let it dry when it was stretched out and hold in place with tiny needles, tiny pins. Pins do you call it? In Dutch we call it spelden. Only the body part, because the sleeves I was not so worried about because my arm was in it, and it did work pretty good. It's the perfect size. It has just the amount of ease I love, not too much but also not too tight. So decreasing at the neckline. I can advise to not do that together with your Miss Perfect, because she might be a little bit hard on how it looks. I didn't have the time and the brain space to think about it. I just did it, and one of my coffee beans is disappearing this way, and I think it worked out pretty good. Maybe I could have done it even more better or nicer, but I don't mind it at all. You can see this is the coffee bean and it is disappearing. Yeah, I don't think there's another way. Also with the Corran cardigan it's also happening, and also with the Senna cardigan it is happening, because when you're decreasing, stitches are disappearing. So some of the stitch pattern must disappear because it cannot not. So I think it's good. The sleeve decreases I just used the same as Rebecca in her pattern, and I only knitted the Corran cardigan with short sleeves, so I didn't use her way of decreasing, but I thought it was a very clever way of decreasing when you are knitting in pattern. So I really love that. And normally I quite often do some decreases in the last round before the ribbing of the sleeve. But this time I didn't do that because as you can see, the coffee beans are transferring in the knit two columns so properly. And when you do, of course I didn't think about it, but when I did all the decreases, it was one big mess, and I just love this detail very much. So yeah, it is perfect. I did make long sleeves. I really love to wear them this way when I'm cold, but most of the time I fold them back. So my hands are free to do anything they need to do. And this is really the way I prefer to wear my cardigans. So very happy with this result. Very happy with this cardigan. I love to wear it. I didn't wear it last Saturday. Did I already told it? I'm a bit confused because the camera... yeah, I think I already told about the intuitive picking of your outfit. Yeah, I'm quite sure. But since the festival was over, I did wear it almost every day. So we are good. We are good. Yeah, really lovely. Okay. Yeah. The K2P2 Festival. It was happening last Saturday. If you watch my episodes for a longer time, you might have heard me talking about it before. It was quite a big thing in my life for the past 6 months. I shall do a little introduction, I guess. It was a heart-jumping day, but it was also terrifying and exciting for me. I had a lot of mixed emotions, but in the end it was heart-jumping and it all went well, so I am very relieved. The K2P2 Festival was not really one of my dreams. It was more some of a vision. It sounds a bit weird maybe, but since a few years, every now and then I have a very strong vision of myself organizing something for knitters and crocheters at a specific place, Pier 15, which is a skate park in my hometown, which is run by my brother. So that's why I have the connection with that. I'm not a skateboarder at all. So that vision came quite often actually, but every time I thought, haha, no, we won't go there. I'm not an event organizer. I don't want to be. And I pushed it away. But it came, and at some point I thought, okay, apparently this is something that wants to happen, and apparently it wants to happen through me. So let's dive into it. So I checked my brother if he was interested in a knitting event at his place. And he told me, okay, sounds nice, come over and pitch. So I did pitch, and he asked, what do you want? And I told him that there are a lot of lovely events already, but they are more focused on the commercial aspect, selling yarn, buying yarn, and that's absolutely a good thing because we need yarn in our lives, otherwise we can't knit or crochet. But I always love to connect with the other people. One of the biggest surprises for me from knitting and crochet, becoming a crafter. I don't like the word crafter. In Dutch we say handwerken. I love that word more. It sounds more cozy. Crafter sounds so, I don't know, a little bit more crafter, rafter. It reminds me of rafter, and that's very simple and maybe stupid thought, but rafter and crafter, it's quite a difference, of course. But one of the biggest and most surprising and heart-jumping aspects of my knitting and crochet life is the connection with other people. I did meet so many nice other knitters and crocheters, and I think it's really special to be together with people who share the same love for yarn and knitting and crochet. And it doesn't matter. You can also, when you are a cooker or a sporter or whatever, it is good to surround you every now and then with people with the same passion or the same hobby or the same love. And it's also good to surround you with different people. But every time I visited a yarn event, big or small, doesn't matter, I always felt that heart-jumping feeling of being together with like-minded people. And I wanted to create a place where there was lots of space for connecting instead of only the buying part. And I'm not really a music lover. I do love music, but I never visit concerts or festivals. But I do love the festival vibe. There's also a lot of connecting happening at concerts and festivals. And I really wanted something like that for knitters and crocheters. My brother, he thought it was a good idea, and we deep dived into it. We started into the K2P2 adventure. And it was quite a challenge. It was very refreshing to work together with my brother, who knows nothing about the knitting community. He loves wearing knitted socks and knitted sweaters. My mom made him a sweater. I knitted him some socks. He loves wearing them, but that's all. But he had very refreshing ideas, and we created a lineup. He asked me, "Who's your lineup? Who are your artists?" And I thought, lineup, artist. And I invited some lovely ladies. It was so heart jumping. I invited Lerke from Firebit Tales, Inga from Knitting Traditions, and Jana from the Finnish Knitting Stories. All those ladies make podcasts on YouTube I love to watch, and I know a lot of other Dutch knitters and crocheters love to watch them too. So they all came, and that was very special. They are all they are so lovely. Yeah, lovely ladies. Also, Jana brought her husband, and Inga brought her cousin and her little Nelly, tiny baby, most happy knitting baby I ever have seen, I guess. I couldn't knit when my babies were babies, so I really it was just so much fun to see that happy little girl in all the beautiful knits. That was heart jumping too. But they came, and we also had some Dutch lovely speakers, and we had all the lovely people who did organize activities. I won't deep dive into it because it will take way too much time, but it was just a nice day with all the vendors too, because of course we need vendors too with their lovely yarns and other products. It was only a smaller part. It was not a market. It was a festival with a market, a small market. And all those people together created the most beautiful day in a little bit of a out of comfort zone place, a little bit unexpected place. P15 is a skate park, so it's a little bit of a rough area. Industrial area, and we tried to create a big living room within that skate park in that area. So the coziness of knitting and crochet and the rough part of skateboarding and all the things came together. And I think it's a healthy balance. And I was so excited how it would work out. I didn't eat and sleep for almost all week. It was not always fun organizing this. I'm not an event organizer. I don't want to be. I have very deep respect for all the people who do this all the time, because that responsibility, it was quite a weight on my shoulders. But at Friday it started. We were building up and it was looking all so nice. And then at the end of the day, I was having dinner with the lovely ladies, Lerke, Jana and Inga, and all their lovely other people. And there were also Dutch knitters in the restaurant. And then I was already feeling the connected feeling, and I thought, okay, this is good. This is good. This is how I saw it. This is what I want. And then on Saturday, all the people came. It was very, very cold. When we were picking a date for K2P2, I prefer some date in September, because P15 has also a very nice outside area, especially when the sun is shining and when it's nice weather. And also September for me is the month where you can slay your dragons doing exciting things. And I knew a lot of people were coming alone, and that was quite exciting for those people. And also for me, it was very exciting to organize this whole stuff. So I thought September would be great, but there were already too many other nice events. So the only other free date in the agenda of P15 was November 23. So we did it, and I thought, it's never really cold in the Netherlands. Okay, it was cold at November 23 this year. And that was really a bit of a bummer because we had all the nice ideas for outside and it didn't work. And it was okay, it was good inside, but it was cold. But we had cold toes but a very warm heart because during the day I was meeting all the people and I was feeling the vibe and I realized, okay, this is exactly how I want it to be because I saw all the people connecting. I heard so many lovely stories of people making new friends, coming all alone, sometimes from the Netherlands, sometimes even from farther abroad, and all the connecting in the hotels and the train at the K2P2 Festival itself. And I could see it and I could feel it. I get chicken bumps. No, chicken. We call it kippenvel. Goosebumps. I think that's how you say it in English. When I think back of it, and it was really absolutely heart jumping. And I am so grateful to all the people who came, all the visitors, all the people who bought a ticket, because the tickets were quite pricey, but I wanted that it was all included. You could do all the activities, listen to all the talks and do all the things there. And so many people, we were sold out. So many people did buy a ticket, and I am so grateful for their trust in something new, something unknown, and also all the vendors who came, and also the people who did all the nice activities. And yeah, the lovely guests, the speakers, the YouTubers, but also the Dutch speakers. I couldn't do it without it. It's very exciting when you have something in mind and you want to make it in reality. It's quite a thing. And I think Miss Perfect was with me all the time, and we were having a hard time together because he drove me crazy. And there were a lot of things which could be better. I can make an endless list. But the most important thing was that the feeling was there. Okay, as I said, new camera, only one battery, and my first experience is one battery is way too less for talking Sarah. So I really need to arrange some extra batteries soon. We will do that. I had a little break while my battery was recharging, and now I forgot where I was with my story. I think I was in the middle of the K2P2 Festival, me being very excited, Miss Perfect on my shoulder, looking around, seeing all the things that could have been better, but also I was feeling the feeling. I was feeling the feeling I hoped for. I was feeling the connection. I was feeling the connection myself with other people. I hugged a lot of people. It was very quickly. I made bracelets for everyone. So it was a very quick hug and a quick connection. But I also saw all the other people connecting, being together, having a good time, enjoying, a lot of happy people. And at that point, my stress level turned down a little bit and I could enjoy it more and more. I really enjoyed being there together with all the people, and I enjoyed the talks, the interviews I did with Janna, Lerke and Inga. They did a very great thing. They are all such lovely ladies. Yeah, it was so nice to have them together with all the other people. Because I think together you can create something. You can have a plan, but you need the people to make it, to turn it into reality. And I'm very grateful that happened. It was exactly what I wanted, and I will never do this again, especially because I am not an event organizer. I am not made for organizing events. I really have a lot of respect for all the people who do that over and over again. The responsibility for that, it's quite heavy weight. It was quite a heavy weight on my shoulders, and it was not hard jumping to me. I had a lot of stress. I don't think I ever did such a big difficult thing. Of course, there were other difficult things and stress things in my life, but this one was so far out of my comfort zone that I really felt uncomfortable for quite a long time. It kept me busy for the past 6 months, and I was looking forward to it, but I was also very afraid of what would happen. So I will never do this again, but I really hope that I inspired other people to spend some attention on their own events, some attention, to focus more on connected, no, not more, but also focus on connecting and people meeting each other. Maybe there are people who are good in organizing events, inspired to create something new themselves. I really think if I heard all the people, it's a thing. People want to meet. It's very special to bring that online community for a little moment and a little part, because the online knitting and crochet community is very big, of course. And there are very many different tastes and all are good. And I think it is very nice to bring them together to real life every now and then. And I did choose to do it this way, but there are many, many ways. So if this way was not your way, please feel inspired to do it your way. And everybody was welcome to Knit2Pill2 at Knit2Pill2. And yeah, of course, there was not place for everyone because it was a tiny space, but there are so many people loving to be connected, to feel connected. And I think online is a good thing, but if it is possible in your life where you live to do it every now and then in real life, it's absolutely worth it. I'm happy it is over. I must confess, I was exhausted. I was very tired, and I don't know if I already told this. I'm sorry if I'm on repeat, but last Monday, normally I record my episodes on Monday, and I was starting my episodes, but I was so tired. I started over 10 times again, and then I realized, okay, I need to be on the couch under a blanket with some knitting. So I did, and I will tell you, I didn't make a new cast on. I will tell you about it in a minute. I want to share a little bit more about the gifts I received. I did receive a lot of gifts, and I always feel a bit uncomfortable and overwhelmed by it, because it's absolutely not necessary to give me something that was absolutely not needed, and I don't need anything, and it always feels as if it's a bit too much. But on the other side, I also understand that giving a present can be a love language. Giving is a love language. My love language is talking. That's why I talk so much to you, and also to the people in my real life. Did I also? I have to mention that maybe I told it all. Yeah, I'm a bit confused now, because there is some time in between the previous parts I was filming and right now, and I'm still quite exhausted, so my brain is not working very good. After the gifts, I will tell a little bit more about the other part, the real life part. So I received a lot of gifts, but I always feel a little bit uncomfortable by showing it, because it was not about the gifts, but I also feel uncomfortable by not showing it, because then it feels as if I'm not grateful. I am very grateful. I did read every card, all the words, they touched my heart. I did cry several times, and all the lovely, beautiful handmade gifts or bought gifts, doesn't matter. They were very heart-jumping to me. Absolutely not necessary, but I am grateful for it. So thank you if you gave me something. What was very special for me, personal, at Knit2Pill2 was the... Did I? No. Okay, maybe I'm on repeat. I'm sorry. Miss Perfect is bothering me. You already told that. Don't bother people with those stories. For me, it was very special to do this together with my family and friends. I always keep my online life and my offline life quite separated. But at Knit2Pill2 they came together, and that was also very exciting for me. But doing this together with my husband and kids and all my other family and friends, that was very special. That was a heart-jumping thing too. So I'm really proud of all of them, and I enjoyed that, and that surprised me a bit, because I thought it would feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it was actually really heartwarming and heart-jumping. Okay, my new cast on. When I couldn't film a new episode because I was just too tired this Monday, I thought I needed knitting work. I need to knit at the couch, on the couch under a blanket, and I had all the projects on my needles, but I really needed a new one. So I casted on a new one, and it is in a new project bag, which was gifted to me by one of the vendors. She said, it was Ingrid from Leuk Gemaakt. She said, I will call this the Sarah bag because it's so much with the brown in your colors. So that was very sweet and generous of her. I needed some comfort knitting, which wasn't too easy. I did a lot of easy knits for the past weeks because I needed my brain for other stuff. But now I really need something to distract me from all the emotions. It was quite overwhelming. And I picked a pattern from my Ravelry library. I didn't have the plans to knit it, but I chose this one. It is the Grandmacore hood by Kutovakika. I think this pattern is from 2023, and I love the idea of the head. It's actually a bit weird because it's a lace head, and yeah, why should you knit a warm head in a lace stitch pattern with all the holes in it? It doesn't make sense, but I really love it when things doesn't make sense. And let me be honest, in the Netherlands, it's actually never really cold, except for November 23. Yeah, you don't need a hat quite often. But I am not a hat wearer. I don't like hats. I love knitting them. I love the look of them on other people. But when you are a curly one, I know everyone with curls will understand me. Or maybe when you have longer hair, it's not an issue. But when I wear a hat, my curls get flat. And when my curls are flat, I'm not a happy person. But every now and then I do love an extra layer over my head, and this one, it's quite loose, and I hope it's wide enough so it will cover my hair and ears and the wind can come through, but it's also the look of it. So it will be this way. I don't know if it's big enough. There will be an I-cord at the front. I don't know. It will be this way, but especially this part. Before I was a knitter, I really loved to wear hoodies because I love the hoodie in my neck. I love the feeling in my neck. And I can imagine I'm quite often walking without a coat and just a warm shawl and then an extra hoodie in my neck, which I can put over my head when needed, but it will also cover my neck it will give a good feeling. And yeah, this was just this stitch pattern. It's a very easy lace stitch pattern. I will tell you more about the yarn and all the things next time, but it was really exactly what I needed because it asked my attention, so it distracts me a little bit from all the emotions and all the, I needed to process the whole weekend because it was just like it was a dream. It was not really happened and it was so overwhelming. So focusing on the lace pattern was really what I needed. And I really had fun knitting it and I'm still having fun. So we shall see how the end result will be. It doesn't really matter. It's more of a process knit just to calm down. And I really am enjoying it. So yeah, okay, I think that was it for today. I really wanted to make an episode today because I will go on a trip this weekend and there will be no episodes again coming Monday. Monday is my episode day, but my sister invited me for a little trip. We will stay in a little cabin in the woods and I am really looking forward to a few days with only knitting and reading and chatting and sleeping and walking in a beautiful nature. So I'm really looking forward to that, but I will have no time to make a video next week, so there will not be one. I will make Heart Jumping Friday videos. Heart Jumping Friday is my membership part of the YouTube channel. You have to pay a small amount of money if you want to. No, yeah, you can only watch the videos if you do. So, and then I will make extra videos every Friday. So there will be one tomorrow, and I will have a good chat with you. You can ask me all the questions if you want to, and I will be there tomorrow, and I will be there next week. But my next Monday video will be somewhere in December. December is Vlogmas month. I won't do Vlogmas. December is always feeling way too busy for me, but a lot of other people will do that, and I am looking forward to just relax and knitting and watching the beautiful episodes of other people. It's really fun yeah, I'm really looking forward to. My life is actually quite slow and easy, and it was a bit of a busy, weird 6 months, and now I'm going back to what I really love to do, knitting and making episodes. So that's really nice and good. And I am still, my heart is filled with all the warmth and all the memories of this weekend, all the special connections. I made new knitting friends. It was really, yeah, it was really so special. And I am really looking forward to 2025 because I definitely want to visit events and focus on the connecting. Maybe organize that, like the dinner the ladies had, organize a little dinner around it with everyone who's interested, or just casual things. And yeah, it's really I'm really looking forward to that part. So okay, I think this was it for today. I want to wish you a very nice weekend because it's almost weekend. It's a Thursday afternoon. I will do some organizing, do some cleaning because my house is really a mess. I did ignore that for quite some weeks, so it needs some attention. I will give that. I really love doing that, so it's okay. And then I will sit and knit in between and enjoy some quiet time, maybe light a candle and just enjoy the quietness because I love that too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you have some heart jumping moments too. If you can't find them, create them because we need them.